show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to Blackout. The Blackout Hour is amongst us.
We are back.
We are
America's
back.
favorite nighttime show.
Yes, sir. So this week it's just me and Ian. We were supposed to have a guest. Shout out to Tamika Mallory. Her schedule got changed, so she couldn't make it. I'm sure she'll join us sometime in the future. But tonight it's just myself and Ian.
Yes.
So you know that's gonna be fun. Big episode of Earn Your Legion tomorrow. Shout out to Derek Falcon. Shout out to Zoe. We interviewing him. Episode 11, EYL alumni. We got the follow-up episode tomorrow, 6 o'clock. He's doing his thing. He got a donut empire, vegan donut empire in Brooklyn now. And you know, he's back sharing game, dropping gems, inspiration for all the hustlers out there for sure.
Please tune in. Yep.
For sure. That's one of the people that I like to just hear him talk because he's just like, it's like listening to a verse every time that he speaks. Like he just
Sure.
like he's a very inspirational person. So shout out to Derek and the whole team tomorrow, 6 o'clock. And thank you for all of you guys that sent merch. I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. But
Truckload.
that's a fact. I'm at the point now where I have too much merch. I got to sort through it all. So I'm gonna ask to pause on the merch for a while. We're gonna reconvene this situation, but I have enough merch now. So I don't know if it's next week, 2 weeks, a month, but I'll let you know when you can send me merch again.
For
but
sure.
Just not right now. So in that vein, this whole ensemble that I got on. So these
That's
guys
tough.
are dope. Thank you. Yeah, they sent me the hat, the hoodie, the sweatshirt, t-shirt, and socks. They sent the whole ensemble. So, and it's actually dope. Like I rock it like it's a matching sweatsuit and hat. So their thing is Justice Culture. And their Instagram handle is at justice_culture. And their website is justiceculture.com. So Justice Culture, justice_culture, and justiceculture.com for sure. So I like it. I like the color combo.
For sure.
Yeah, so
Clean brand design.
Yeah, it's clean. It's clean. I'm rocking it. I told y'all send me good merch. If y'all send me some good merch and it's quality, I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna rock it and I'm gonna give you a shout out. So man, this is from one of the packages that I got. So shout out to them, Justice Culture. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Justice Culture, Invest Fest.
That's a fact. Get your booth for Invest Fest. That's a fact. And that's my last thing I was gonna say. Get your tickets to InvestFest, investfest.com. You get your tickets, get your vendor booths. We back 5th year, year 5, time flies when you're making history. August 22nd to August 24th. We're going to be announcing different surprises and names, stuff like that later on in the rollout period. But for right now, it's to save the date, get the pre-sale tickets, go to investfest.com. If you've never been to InvestFest, you can't afford to miss it. If you've been, you got to come back. So that's the vibe, man.
It's probably the most important year, given everything that we talked about on Monday. The state of the economy. This is the most important one. Please get your tickets. Red Panda. The code is in Telegram for your discount. Love y'all. See y'all there. I know I cannot get you in the VIP night. No, I can't plug you with whoever you want to meet to be on a date with. Unless you Edwin. I got Edwin.
Edwin, shout out to Edwin, man.
Yeah.
Salute Edwin, man.
Sure.
Okay, Ian, any announcements you would like to make?
Yes, if you want to get rich from the stock market, go to ianinvest.com. You never have to guess where to get in and where to get out. If I've made you money, please put yes in chat. For all the new members, you are in Sniper. You are on Stock Club Call. For those of you who want to wait 8 months or 10 months and then like, hey, I lost access, take advantage of it now so you can take advantage of the market and all the gains we're going to get. So I love you. Let's have an amazing show. It's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about.
That's a fact.
Grandmas, go to bed this show. Love y'all dearly. Te amo. Abuela, go to bed.
A report shows that money can indeed buy happiness, right? I think, and there's no limit to it. So I think the University of Pennsylvania put the study out that money can buy happiness up to 75,000, and then there's a conflicting report that says there's actually no limit to the amount of happiness. The amount of happiness directly correlated to money. Yes. So for years people have said money can't buy happiness. Where'd that start at? Who started that?
That was started by rich people who don't want to tell people that are not rich the truth. I'm gonna be real with you. Like all the conversations we ever had in life, and since we've done the show, no one's ever said, "Man, I sold my company for 460 million, and I'm gonna give away all of it because this shit is just causing me so much agony and pain." Even though I love Buffett, even though when I die, I'm gonna give all the money to a charity or foundation. Those are his charities that he has an equitable interest in. So there's two sets. I've always told you there's two sets of rules. It's the things that they tell the public: invest in the S&P 500, you'll never go wrong. And then it's the private information. 2014, buy Nvidia. 2010, buy Facebook at the time, now Meta. So I think it's done as a way to band-aid the wage gap, people not being paid enough, and just telling you it's okay to get by off of this amount of money when we're seeing some of the highest valuations ever in history in American business.
Yeah, that whole thing of money can't buy happiness. There's also a thing, the best things in life are free. Love don't cost a thing.
Love expensive. You get to that divorce court. Add up real fast. Get your paperwork together, my boy.
That's a fact.
It sounds good. No true.
When they say the best things in life are free, right? Let's really think about this. When you saying the best things in life are free, I'm assuming the first thing that comes to my mind is family, right?
Yep.
Like your family, your parents, your spouse, your children. None of that is free outside of your parents, maybe, because parents gotta take care of kids until the roles are reversed and kids take care of their parents. But outside of maybe your parents, none of that is free. Spouse, try that one out. Your kids, if you got kids, you understand the cost of raising a kid got to be at least $500,000 for a lifetime, for like 0 to 18 these days. So that's damn sure not free. After that, after family, I think of food. I'm a foodie. That's obviously not free. That's obvious. After that, I think of experiences. Can't really get too many free experiences these days. Can't really
take a walk in the park.
So that the walk in the park play, right? But even the walk in the park, you gotta have free time in your schedule to actually do that. And the only way to have free time is to actually be able to have some level of financial freedom. So
sounds good.
Tough call. So yeah, I mean, does money buy happiness? Absolutely. Now, can you be miserable with money? Absolutely. But you're gonna be,
and that story is always told for sure.
You're gonna be a miserable person regardless. That people don't understand. Like, money is not gonna make you happy if you're not already morally set up properly, if you don't have your value system in place, if you don't comfortable with who you are. But that you're gonna be depressed no matter what. You can be depressed if you're broke. If you're broke and you don't have confidence in yourself and you don't have a moral compass and all that, like, money just expands what you already are. So if you're a good person, great, you're gonna be a great person,
an amazing person
with money. I mean, long story short, I just think that that's just gonna make you more of what you currently are. And like you said, I think it's been put out there to discourage people from obtaining financial freedom. It's like, yo, just stay comfortable where you're at.
For sure.
And I don't agree with that.
Yeah. Especially as cost of living is going up. Just, if you look at basics, because I know people are going to say, well, you don't need all those things. Cool. You're taking care of your child, you get in a position where you have to take care of your parents or a family member. You can run through a lot of money really fast. I know that was killing DDG for his commentary about 10 million isn't enough and you'll be broke by 50. But I was watching shout out to my mom and dad. I was watching the game with them on Sunday. Some Hyundais that are like 80 grand. What? I remember when we were kids, if you spent 80 grand on a car, you had a super luxury vehicle. Most of these cars are averaging at 65 to 70,000 now. I tell you, ride is like 70 grand. Kia. Like you said, you're gonna spend 500 grand on your kid. The cost of renting is through the roof. I saw you post that 1 bedroom in Manhattan was like $6 grand. I'm like, listen,
7,000
for a 1 bedroom,
pre-war building. Legendary.
Man, that's crazy. So I know people love to say money, it doesn't buy completion or purpose, but happiness is for sale. For sure. Always has been, and always will be. So, but what you think about DDG saying $10 million isn't a lot of money, not enough to retire on?
Depends on your lifestyle.
Let's be mature and measured. Yeah.
It depends on your lifestyle for sure.
Yeah.
So I could understand why he's saying it for his lifestyle, maybe $10 million is not enough to retire.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that for the average person,
for sure,
they'll be okay with $10 million.
Okay, this is the real question. If the average person gets $10 million with no plan, no systems, and no literacy, how quickly they burn through that money?
5 years, maybe shorter, But also, this is a tricky situation because he said $10 million is not enough. He said something to the effect of like when you retire. So maybe he's counting the value of money 30 years from now.
Okay.
In that scenario, $10 million 30 years from now is probably not the same, right? Yeah. So that might be the equivalent to $5 million today.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Because even $1 million 30 years ago was, you had a lot more purchasing power. Shout out to all my Bitcoin maxis. You don't want more dollars, you want more purchasing power. I hear you.
What do you feel about it? What you feel about it?
I'm gonna be mature and measured on this topic. Of course, if you invest into the market, put all 10 million in, get 10% return, you can live off that money. Most people are not doing that, though. So I can see, I've known a couple of people that have blown through 2 and 3 million in like 3 and 4 months. Me and Jay Wall was talking about this like 2 months ago, and people was like, "No, you're crazy. That will sustain somebody forever." If you have poor spending habits right now, you're going to go from buying every J that drops to buying everything that Eliante sends you. Like, do you know how hard it is, like, to have money and be disciplined and not go crazy on everything you wanted to buy as a kid? So do I understand how it can offend some people? Yes. Will the money be the same in 30 years? And given that NVIDIA conversation we had Monday, it may not be the same in 20 years. I don't know. So, but even if you look internationally, even in Mexico, like some of the houses that used to be 400,000 and 500,000, now they've went up dramatically the last 3 or 4 years as well. So, if you do right by the money and you're a good steward over the money, will it last you? But most people are not doing that. They're going to go buy 3 cars and chains or go on a bunch of vacations and try and buy a meme coin or some bullshit, and then they lose a bunch of the money and be in trouble. So
So what's
That's
your
why you gotta get to Ghana.
what is your blueprint for? Because you do a good job of living below your means, as far
That's
as like
tough.
you're not, huh?
It's tough, yo.
So what how do you personally go about it? Because you're not a flashy person. You're not somebody that, because I'm observant,
Yeah,
and I know that you could if you want to, but
yeah.
you're not flashy. You're not. It doesn't look to me like you're spending a lot of money. I don't see that. So
No.
how have what has been your psychological blueprint to not spend money?
Freedom is more important than looking like you have a bunch of money. It's a tough. Some days I wake up and I see them little Eliante post and Shador. I said, it was draft day for me too. I'm gonna go. Shout out to my guy Big Mike in New York. He texts me every fucking day. Yo, I got this chain, 182 carats. It go. Want to, can't do it. Can't do it. So for me, the end goal or my North Star is like freedom and being able to do what I want to do. And I get the perception of the language and how as black men we should elevate. But the point that I made on the show Monday, like, what's the point of being free if you can't say what you really want to say? Then you're not really free. So to me, that matters a lot more. Even when I go up, yo, most podcasts ain't making no money. Like, even to rub certain audiences the wrong way, you need a financial cushion in case they decide they want to attack. And I think too many people try and act as if they have money they don't really have with the trinkets. And then you look up and I'm gonna be it's a bunch of people in this space that owe us money and they look like they rich as hell. Now I ain't got my 20 grand back, my 10 grand back from 3 years ago. Now I see a lot of dripping jewelry. I'm like, where my bread at, my boy? So to me, being free is more important. But I won't lie, it's tough. That's tough. Who else? Oh, when all Takashi shit went on auction, I said if he didn't have all them colorways on them Lamborghinis, ooh, baby, I would have went right to Miami and got all 4 of them cars. But it's okay. Patience and discipline is key.
Patience
But
and
one day
discipline.
I'm gonna pop out and I'm gonna put on a light show for y'all. Catch me on one of the right days off the jewelers. If you catch me off the InvestFest stage, off my presentation, ooh, baby, look like Mr. T.
So let me ask you this. Okay. Well, actually, let me say this, because shout out to, this happens to me a lot. So I want to address this. Like on the beginning of the show, I say like the worst mistake I ever made was buying a home. Financial mistake I made. And that's something that people find interesting. They got questions about. They ask me about it on the street. So, you know, I explained my home buying journey, but I'm actually thinking about documenting this series
As you
in a
should.
vlog format, because I'm in the
Love it.
process of building a home right now, and it's educational for sure. It's learning experience, and there's so much stuff that you're not even aware of, like planting. I didn't like, my town has a planting department. And I just got off the phone with my engineer, and we was talking about the planting that has to be, is mandated. They mandated trees on my property,
Yeah.
and nobody thinks about that when you're building a home. And the trees that they mandated is completely, it doesn't really make sense for the type of property that I have in the location, like in New York, right? They're like California oak trees. It's like huge trees. So just stuff like that, as far as you could spend $50,000 on shrubbery planting,
Easily.
right?
Oh,
Like
man. Ooh,
the requirements of building a home
are
is
intense.
is a lot. Like the permits that you have to get, you got to get an electrical permit, you got to get the plumbing permit, you got to get the building permit, you got to get the landscaping permit, you got to get the planting department permit, you got to get all these different permits.
Yep.
The price of everything is all subject to seasonal. It could be a shortage, it could be scarcity, it could be a variety of different things that happen.
And a celebrity tax you got to pay when they go to your Instagram. That's the other part that helps. But what, being calm and only bringing out your big boy shit, whoo, that tax on being known, egregious.
That's a fact. You got to have a good general contractor. I had a guy that was fraudulent. I had to fire him, and now I got a good guy. But the crew is important, the work crew. You know,
For sure.
shout out to the guys that's doing my home now. They very, very good. It's from Central America. Man, these guys work so hard. It's unbelievable.
Diligent.
But that's important. And then there's so much stuff that you have to learn in this process, right? As far as like on the interior design aspect of it, kitchen, islands, measurements, even building a home, as far as like wood. That's why this tariff thing is really real, right? The Canadian, a lot of the wood that we buy comes from Canada, lumber for sure. So that causes an effect on the prices of home if we have to have a 25% tariff on the trees that's coming over the lumber. And then like, you know, you start to see things like, okay, what's the difference between wood and synthetic wood? What's the difference between building a home with brick and building a home with wood? What's the difference between outside exterior to have panels or have stucco? What's the difference between having, you know, a living attic versus a closed attic, right? Like as far as so much stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty astonishing. So I will say this, it's a good education, but as far as my recommendation, buy a home that's already built. At least you know what you're getting yourself into. There's not a lot of variables that go into play. And you won't have to have all these surprises at the last minute because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other part too about you have to pick the areas in which you're going to invest and spend money on and the areas that you're not. Like, while I may not spend them on certain things, car, home, I'll spend there. So I think everybody has areas where they'll spend a lot of money or dumb money on. So you got to be mindful of what you're going to do. So,
and I'll say this too, if you're building a home, you got to have cash. It's good to have cash on hand, like a lot of cash on hand, because like with these home buying building loans, like we got a home buying building loan, and how they do it is that something is built, like they put your flooring down, or they'll put the roofing up, and then they'll come inspect it, and then they'll give you a check for that. So the problem with that is that most of the time you got to pay at least some level of installment beforehand. So it's hard to fund a project if you're always working behind. So it's hard to fund a project if you got to wait for them to complete the project, for them to come look at it, and then for them to come cut you a check. You're always going to be behind, and then eventually the guys are going to start working because they're not going to. It's very difficult to get somebody to work for free, to do the whole thing for free, and then to say, okay, I'll pay you on the back end. Like, you got to pay at least 25%. Now, you should never pay 100%. We learned that early. You never pay 100% to a contractor, even 50%, 25%.
Almost to no service provider.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Installments are for.
You have to. Yep.
That's important.
Everything is great until they get all the money. Then the desire and ambition goes away. Be careful. Yep.
That's a fact. Break up the payments.
Yeah,
all right. But yeah, follow my journey. I might be showing you guys.
I think that's a great idea. I think
there's so much stuff every day. It's like a reality show. That's why I got that idea. I'm like, damn, this is actually better than HGTV.
Yeah.
Because this shows you the real side. HGTV just shows you how to buy a home. This shows you building a home. Like, I've never really seen that documented before.
Yeah. And that conversation needs to be had a lot more. So, and also too, if you want to do, I'll say this all the time, it helps a lot from the wolves to hide that you may have some money. That's a lot of people getting extorted because they show them what they have. Be mindful. But on a home area, you got to invest. I've been looking. I'm almost like finding what I want to. I left New York to me. I don't want to build. I'm just buying this, have my dad come in and remix and reconstruct after. But building from scratch, no, I'm good. I don't even want to build a gingerbread house. No, I am good. Headaches, y'all. Oh God, I am good. No,
don't do it. All right, let's talk about Trump. Okay, so there's a few different things here to talk about, but first, so okay. Let's play this D.L. Hughley clip, can we?
Yeah.
To the story in the Atlantic that said that some of your top cabinet officials and aides had been discussing very sensitive material through Signal and included an Atlantic reporter for that. What is your response to that?
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic. To me, it's a magazine that's going out of business. I think it's not much of a magazine, but I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
They were using Signal to coordinate on sensitive materials and
having to do with what? Having to do with what? What were they talking about?
With the Houthis.
The Houthis? You mean the attack on the Houthis? Right. Well, it couldn't have been very effective because the attack was very effective. I can tell you that. I don't know anything about it. You're telling me about it for the first time.
Okay, so that clip shows Trump allegedly saying that he didn't know anything about this. So if you're not familiar, so what exactly happened? The Houthis, they're in Yemen. Yep. America had a missile strike, I believe, in Yemen against them. Killed some civilians. That's a different story. Yeah. So I guess that got leaked. I guess some level of the correspondence, which will obviously be, top secret information, ended up getting leaked somehow or crossed paths on the airways, and the media got a hold of it. So they asked Trump about it.
Text to the wrong person.
So what'd you say?
It got text to the wrong person. Like, tell us.
So what exactly? Who texted the somebody texted to somebody that they texted they text information about a missile strike to a reporter by accident.
Fellas, we've all been there at a point of our lives when we sent a text and it went to the wrong person. But never in a million years did I think that a war plan will go out.
Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense. The Secretary of Defense allegedly, the Secretary of Defense text war plans to a journalist by accident, allegedly.
So hypothetically, if it was me, right, and I sent out the war plan for InvestFest, right? That's a tough conversation when you get home, because why is that the accident, the thread that went out? Use Signal or whatever the hell y'all be using to get them little war plans off. But I just, and Trump, to be fair, to not pile on him about this topic, he probably didn't know because they probably tried to hide it. But how are you so messy when there's so much espionage going on to citizens who come here and then when we go to other countries? I mean, they have devices that can take data off of your phone and your laptops, and it's a big thing in government and high tech to not even take the real laptop, real phone when you go travel. So how can someone be this? And for all the shit they give for DEI, it wasn't nobody black who did this, or a woman.
Oh, of course not. Imagine if that happened. They would be fucking ridiculed from here to
for sure. Moscow. If Kamala sent Charlemagne to war plans on accident, man, they would be calling for treason.
So apparently, okay, top national security officials for President Donald Trump, including his defense secretary, text plans for upcoming military strikes in Yemen to a group chat in a secure messaging app that included the editor-in-chief for The Atlantic. The magazine reported it in a story posted online Monday. The National Security Council said the text chain appears to be authentic. So, okay. So that's okay. So they sent it in a group chat.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful with these group chats. And then the guy from Atlantic was in the group chat. Why is he in the group chat? And he gets it and was like, oh, this is great. Posts it. And he compromises military war plans. So
isn't that a threat to national security?
Definitely. And it's incompetency at a very high level. So DEI hire, remember we went over this. All these guys are DEI hires because they're not, none of these guys are qualified for their positions that they're in. The defense, the head of I think he's like a failed 3-star something, like, I don't know. He wasn't even in the army. He was like reserve or something like that. So this doesn't surprise
everybody in the Army Reserve.
No, for sure. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
This doesn't surprise me that this would happen because then none of these cabinet members are qualified for the positions that they're in. So you're texting top secret war plans in a group chat that just so happens to have the editor-in-chief of a magazine in it. You don't think to check this before you actually do it? Why are you sending messages in group chats anyway?
Yeah, that's insane. Gross incompetence at best. Violation of national security at worst.
What do you think about Trump's response?
Smart thing to say. Even if he knew, smart thing to say that he wasn't aware. Plausible deniability.
Yeah, but at some point you gotta have some level of responsibility. You can't just say, "Okay, yeah, they're a terrible newspaper. They're failing organization," but that has nothing to do with the fact that your top person in the military
better protocol
sent a message to the media by accident. So you should just say,
or was it accidental?
Well, you should just say like, well, we're gonna examine the situation. We're not sure. We got to figure out what happened. We'll look internally.
Yeah, change protocol. Yeah, it's above our pay. Shout out to everybody with security clearance. It's above our pay grade. He's even taking people's clearances away. I'm like, bro, it's not going to go well. And what happens if we text the information to an enemy of ours or someone who's acting as an ally, who's really an enemy? There's some high level espionage. I know we didn't talk about the Gene Hackman thing too much, but if you go back to enemy of the state, we are living in enemy of the state too. There's some high level espionage being played in the United States of America right now. Who owns Signal? They gave the founder a Telegram hell, but you're communicating on a secure app with backdoor access.
What do you think about? Yeah, that's crazy. But JD Vance, with this, I don't know if this has been confirmed either. Allegedly, he had a leaked conversation where he's throwing Elon under the bus.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's been confirmed that it was actually his voice.
It's AI. The same people who made them fake Drake songs made this, allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly.
But hypothetically, he did bring up a point that he is not making the country look well. And he's not an American, but he's acting as if he is an American citizen and has more power than most American citizens, and it can be a very dangerous threat. Shout out to all the Elon supporters. This is called critical analysis. That's all. So, but I do think JD Vance feels threatened. I've told everyone from the very beginning, I think they have 18 months to be in good standing. And Elon's gotten some pretty significant bailouts or contracts from the government. So I don't think he may always have the best interest of the country in his heart when he's having these conversations. But kudos for JD Vance for standing up and having some balls on some non-black issues and having some balls on a white issue.
You know what's crazy is that Elon makes $8 million a day from the government contracts and all that.
I would build an office too and make sure them checks go through every 2 weeks.
And the second thing is JD Vance. We never really got to the bottom of this situation of like who is he? You know, he's changed his name 3 times. Did you know that?
For branding reasons, I heard, right?
So he was born in 1984, and his name when he was born was James Donald Bowman, right? Then
I didn't know that. Okay.
Following his parents' divorce when he was a toddler, his mother remarried, and that's completely disrespectful. Changed his name to James David Hellman. I guess that's his stepfather's name. Mm-hmm. To get your
timeout.
No. Ain't no timeout. I have a kid, and my kid has my name.
Maybe the dad wasn't present, Rashad.
It ain't no change your name to another. How's that work?
Name. Yeah.
Legendary. Then in 2013, he changed his name to James Dave. So it started, I don't know where this David thing came in. Well, it started with Donald It started with James Donald Bowman. Then it was James David Howman. Then in 2013, he changed his name to James David Vance. When he was about to graduate from Yale Law School, he legally changed his name to Vance.
Trying to
Right?
advance the culture. Yeah.
Then after that, he just combined the first and second name and became JD Vance. So he's changed. He's had 4 name changes in his life.
And him and Peter Thiel have a pretty good relationship, right? Interesting, to say the least. To say the least. So we always talk about the investment into open AI and venture capital, but we don't talk enough about everyone. Well, not everyone. A few people was like, yo, how are you going to invest in human capital when we did the episode when I was there, right? But Peter's been doing this for the longest time. And JD Vance or Bowman or whatever iteration of him he is now. You don't think Peter is getting some benefit from that? Allegedly. One of the greatest investors of all time. So if I can install one of my proteges into the White House while having a great relationship still, not as great as it used to be, but great relationship with Elon, it would behoove me to keep deploying human intelligence into the White House so I can then control it. I never care about the people who are front and center. I care about the people behind the scenes.
4 name changes in 40 years is crazy.
That is wild, yo.
Like, you change your name for religious beliefs. I get it. That's a legitimate reason to change your name. But 4 name changes in 40 years,
I can divide.
Like Bowman to Howman to Vance to JD Vance.
Well, maybe he knew Jamal Bowman was going to be a superstar, so he had to change his name for brand purposes. Shout out to Jamal Bowman.
Shout out to Jamal Bowman. Hold your head. You know, I think he got a lawsuit, Elon Musk. You hear about that?
No, I did not. This is breaking news to me. Wait, what?
Yeah, he was on CNN, and I think he called him a Nazi on CNN. And Elon tweeted, he said, "This is it. This is enough. I'm taking legal action." And I believe that he's suing him.
Jamal, hold your head. You can only call Kanye Nazi and get away with it.
That's a fact.
Speaking of which, Rashad, Kanye is one of the greatest artists of all time. Yes. I haven't heard the Bully album yet. Have you?
Yeah.
And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
Bully, I mean, it's Kanye. It's legendary Kanye shit. Like, you know, first 2. I don't think it's the whole album that's on YouTube. I think it's half the album. It's 40. What's on YouTube is 48 minutes. But it's really 18 minutes because it's 18 minutes and then they loop the 18 minutes back. And then I think the other last 10 minutes is like just instrumentals, you know, classic Kanye. Yeah. Just then he got his son just hitting people with the hammer for the whole video. But it's a good body of work. Like the first 2 songs I like a lot. He got a song.
Bears go crazy, ain't it? That's on the deluxe. My bad.
He got a song with he's speaking Spanish, the whole song. I don't know if that's really him talking or if that's artificial intelligence.
That's AI. The whole album AI.
The whole album is AI? What do you mean? Explain. Explain.
Chata. The couple of people I know, from what I heard, it was all he picked the lyrics and helped write some of the lyrics. Somebody else performed them, and then, you know, put his little voice overlay on it.
No matter what
I'm not mad for using the technology, but
no matter what you say about Kanye, yo, he's the greatest when it comes to compositions of music and hip hop culture. He's the greatest as far as comes to composition. He might not be the greatest rapper. Yeah. He might not, but as far as his level of composition, how he puts it together, how he puts the beat structure and the song and the bridge and the hook, and he's the greatest. He's the greatest.
Better than Puff?
No, but Puff is not a producer in that regard, right? Like
And
he had the
okay, I
hitman,
get what you're saying.
he had the
Yeah.
hitman that was really producing. Like Puff's an
Yeah.
overseer of the situation, and he's like a maestro.
Exactly,
of sorts.
producer. Yeah,
But I'm saying, like, as far as a musical genius that's
Yeah.
able to put together a beautiful body of work, Kanye is the greatest that we've ever seen. And this is just another branch off that tree, man. Like the Preacher song, I like that a lot. Then how it transitions, the Spanish song. There's a few songs that's okay, but it's that soulful music. It's that soulful Kanye West that we all came to love. I like it. I like it. Not condoning any of his behavior, not condoning any of his things that he said, any rhetoric, but separating that from the music. Just talking about the music.
Yeah.
It's A1. The music ain't never the music is A1.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. He did a interview with academics.
I heard.
And and the little Nazi regalia with the full hood.
He did it with you say the full hood. That's KKK. He did it with a KKK outfit on.
That's what Act said.
He did the interview with the KKK outfit on.
I think it's gonna be out in a couple days. It's not my words. It's from academics.
We'll see. I mean, it's
he got that big ass. Who made the swastika chain?
He has a chain.
What? Yeah. And I get it, the mental health, but if you keep doing things on purpose, at some point, it's deeper than just a mental health issue. Like you're choosing to do this, right?
I don't think it could be deeper than mental health. I think has a troubled mind. I think he has a troubled mind.
You know what I thought as a parent? I'm like, man, you making it real easy for Kim to take them fucking kids away. I don't care what court you going to.
I mean, I give her credit as far as at the very least, it seems like he has the ability to see his kids.
You have to give her a lot of kudos for not snatching them kids away.
Because at this point, she could say you can't see the kids ever in life.
Ever in life.
I don't think a judge would have a problem with that.
Nope. Not at all. But I found it interesting that she got the trademark and rights to her daughter. What you think about that?
Oh yeah, that's like Blue Ivy. Like, I think they did that right when they was born. So you gotta protect your name, trademark. That's something even, we had to learn that lesson as far as, when you get some level of notoriety and all that, you gotta trademark your name because people will come and take your name. Try to take your name, try to exploit your name, try to use your name without you getting benefit from it. Put your name on some nonsense. So you got to trademark your name. That's some game for you guys. Yeah. Trademark your name.
Yep, trademark everything.
Trademark.
John Cena couldn't use his name in WWE for 25 years.
Oh yeah. If you got like a common name, it's hard to trademark. Let me preference that. John Smith, I don't think you can trademark.
It's tough.
Eric Johnson, I don't think you could probably trademark. So, but a lot of these celebrities have unique names where there's not that many people in the world named Northwest. Yeah. Right? Probably nobody in the world named Northwest except for Northwest, right? Or like Blue Ivy. That's a unique name. So if you have a unique name, you could try to trademark your regular name. It just might be difficult if you have a regular name. Because there's other people with it's kind of hard to do that. But if you have a unique name, you should try to trademark it for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of trademarks, you think Jess should have trademarked that Jess with the mess segment? Shout out to Charlamagne, shout out to Envy. We're gonna keep it light. What was this a rollout or was this like a real thing?
I think it was a real thing. And it was a rollout. I think it was both. Because she just announced that she got the podcast. Shout out to Lauren.
Well played.
It's interesting. This whole thing is interesting. But shout out to Charlamagne for sure. And just having a conversation and There's a disconnect, I think, on some level with some people that feel like if you have some people have influence. They have they have a TikTok page that's doing numbers. They got a YouTube channel that's doing numbers. They got a podcast that's successful.
Yeah.
Do you consider that real business?
Me personally?
Yeah.
No. I'm not hating, and I've tried to have this conversation endlessly and to help. Most people, though, care about the fame more than the business structure. So it's a lot of people who are lit as hell online, and then you meet them and they're getting taken advantage of. Or the brand deals aren't right, or the ad deals are not what you think they would be, and they're trying to keep up with perception. So I do think there's a huge difference, like you said, between having influence versus being influential. And I mean, I put it on social. Talent without equity is a recipe for disaster. I don't care how talented you are. Like, if you don't have any, and you brought this up on Breakfast Club, like with Kanye, his billionaire status got removed once the relationship with Adidas went awry. If Yeezy brand got destroyed and he still owned 13% of Adidas, he wouldn't have had to do all this crazy shit he's been doing and acting like Antonio Brown's big brother for the last 5 months.
Okay.
What do you think, though?
I think it is business because it is some level of commerce, and it's even if you just have a YouTube page and that's the only thing you have, you've built your business on the platform, somebody else's platform. But that would be no difference if you're an Amazon seller or if you are a franchisee owner of McDonald's. You're building your business on somebody else's business. But for how I always looked at it, I can't speak for everybody, but for how I always looked at it is that any level of influence should be seen as like a key to open a door
for sure
for larger opportunities, and almost like a commercial, right? Where it's like you use this level of influence that you have to create other streams of income for you outside of the direct stream of income, as far as talking on YouTube and Instagram. Like you use that influence, you use those relationships, you use the money that you get, you use the knowledge and information that you obtain to now create other entities, business opportunities, ventures, investments. They're outside of that. That's the problem. They're
not doing that. And that's why, like, when a lot of y'all get to critiquing about what should be done on, I'm like, you don't even own your fucking show. How are you critiquing? And like, okay, question in chat. Would you rather have 1 million followers and 15 million impressions, or $1 million and $15 million in equity? There's a lot of people who are lit on social that I see. TikTok, IG, YouTube. But if you're doing all of this work, they're getting that check on the 21st, the 22nd, whenever it comes through. And they're not investing back into the product, the business, the cameras, into editors, to investing into other creators. Like, content creators have become the new rappers.
Would you rather have 2 million followers or $1 million? $1
million all day.
Put in chat. Would you rather have 2 million followers or $1 million?
I'll take that one, turn that shit to 13, 14 by 2-3 years.
So you would rather have $1 million over 2 million followers?
Absolutely.
I'm taking 2 million followers. Easy.
Because the platform can throttle how much engagement you get off there.
I'm taking $2 million easy. Easy.
2 million followers or dollars?
I mean, 2 million followers. My bad. I'm taking 2 million followers.
On
easy.
what platform?
Instagram.
Blue Sky Digital. What's the other one?
Instagram.
True Social. Okay. The question is, though, is that with or without good relationship with Mosseri? And are you getting full use of 50% reach of audience?
5% reach. Like, I think, what's the average? 5% reach?
Yeah, the thing 3 to
5. 3 to 5%.
7 maximum. So let's say 5. Yep.
All right, 5% reach. If I could get 5, if I'm me personally, and 5 years
But
ago.
here's the difference, though. You have product to place, and I have product to place against said audience.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the
Most
whole
of
point.
the people who are having these conversations, there's no other product.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
There's no offering.
If you have 2 million followers, you should be able to make way more than $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to have some value add proposition. Yep. You got to have some product or services, and you got to be able to leverage your relationships. But the reason why I'm saying that is because I saw what we've been able to do with 1.5 million followers.
Yeah.
So we don't even have 2 million followers. So if we have been able to accomplish what we've been able to accomplish with 1.5 million followers, I already know the idea when people say followers don't equal money, that's actually not true at all. Because followers are influence. Influencers do have influence. They're called influencers for a reason. They have influence. Now, if you use your influence the wrong way, or you waste it, or you're not knowledgeable about how to monetize your platform, well, that's a different conversation.
Most of them aren't knowledgeable, though. 99, like shout to Ashton, who went crazy fucking viral this weekend. No, Saratoga or Primo Brands is not a company to invest in. When he went that viral, though, my first thought was, damn, Saratoga dropped the ball on promoting. Mr. Beast was tweeting about this shit. How did their social media team missed it? But I would hate to go viral like that. Give all those impressions to a brand, and I don't own any equity in that. It's easier to call somebody an influencer than it is easier to call them a digital whore. Most other content creators are digital whores. We had this conversation early on about ads. I don't want ads on Market Mondays unless we own it. I know it's a tight conversation, but it's like if we're promoting XYZ financial services company, and I know they're probably going to make $20 million over a 5-year period off of our audience. But most banks and companies will do that because the field will take that deal. They'll take pennies on a dollar.
So let's talk about this guy. What's his name again?
Ashton
So
Hall.
okay. So he went viral, but he dumps his head in water, right? Because I haven't really seen it. I've heard like
he has a morning routine, and he's like a fitness influencer. So putting your face in shot to, the skincare gurus and shit. Dunking your face in the water helps with puffiness and inflammation and yada yada yada. So it's a part of his routine.
And it's Saratoga Water.
Yeah. Well, it's a good lesson. You shouldn't be washing your face or washing your body in tap water. You shower filter at least.
Okay. So the stock, I think it went up 10%. The impressions for the company went up 1,000%. Now, Dan Fleischman posted that his followers are fake. Did you see that?
I can believe that.
I'm not sure where that came from, but he posted that he has fake followers. And then he posted that Saratoga did not capitalize off of the moment because they didn't repost anything that he put up at all.
At all. Logan Paul did a remake. Mr. Beast did a remake. You could have just reposted the user-generated content that was out.
But for him, all right, so he's somebody that nobody knew a week ago, and now he's damn near famous. Is it worth? Sometimes you gotta lose to win. Is it worth blowing the brand up, not having because you can't negotiate equity? He couldn't negotiate equity when nobody knew who he was. So is it worth losing it, quote unquote, losing on that regard to get to the point where, okay, now he's an actual legitimate influencer. He has a following, and now he's able to catapult himself in a very short period of time based off of this water gimmick, for lack of a better word. So is strategically, did he really make a mistake, or did he actually just utilize that brand to catapult his career?
I mean, it's two different approaches. Some would argue that maybe he can now get a deal with Aquapano or another brand and be in a commercial and cool. But the backdrop of DEI is I don't want you ninjas to get no brand equity. It's going to be tougher to get brand equity. And I get it because you never know when you're going to strike lightning in a bottle. But my thing is like if he has impressions, but you're not able to duplicate that, like the thing that makes him different from another influencer is like let's take Castanat. Kai can tell you month over month, I can get these impressions on these days. So how does he monetize a moment that may have been lightning in a bottle that he may not be able to capture again? So my thing has always been like, if I don't own it or have a royalty in it, I'm not going to promote it. So could I miss opportunities doing it that way? Yes. Has it worked out? Yes. Could his way work out? Possibly. But given the backdrop of the anti-DEI movement, I'm concerned that he may not be able to recapture that again. And even in that, maybe he could have did a better job of promoting his fitness business and made money that way. But of course, on impressions and IG and whatever they pay out, he's going to get paid there. I'm really big on us not giving our cultural influence and equity away to brands that will never support us.
All right. We'll see. Or maybe we can have him at InvestFest and if he's still around by then. And that'll be an interesting conversation. I look at it. It could go both ways. I could see. I understand what you're saying, but I also understand when you just on a come up and you just gotta do. You gotta. It's like signing a bad deal sometimes. Like sometimes it's like, all right, that I'm gonna give my masters away for the first album because I need to just become lit. So I ain't even tripping. It's better for me to give my masters away and to sign with Universal and become a superstar, and then I can leverage that off to the third, fourth, fifth album, as opposed to me taking the stairway, being independent, and staying a regional artist.
Can I be real? I wish more creators would just say I like being fucking robbed. I really do. Because most people really, and I know y'all gonna be like, yo. It's a bunch of artists now at Universal who've came out and made the same claim.
The same claim that I just said?
Yeah. I'm going to do the bad deal for 1 or 2 albums, and then they cross-collateralize your sales, and now you got 2 more to do. And I've even heard instances where it's okay, 3-album deal, you finally get out, go somewhere else and get your masters, and now they won't release the project to even allow you to be out. Like I was going through Meek Mill's catalog the last 2 weeks. I'm like, how was his name stepped on? And then I got a little text from one of my friends like, well, they've been actively stepping on his name and brand for the last 3 or 4 years to drive his value down. Even that last Expensive Pain, whatever, some fire on there. It's interesting. So I agree, but it's interesting, like, even if we're willing to take the loss, that when it's time for renegotiation, there's things to sully the brand name or the value in it. So, but I agree. If everything is played fair, sometimes you need a loss leader, for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's just a tricky situation, but yeah, because the biggest artist didn't come up through independence. They came up through not owning their masters. They came up through not owning their publishing. They came up through the music system.
Yep.
They ain't come up the Russell route. Like, shout out to him. I mean, he's changing the game, but I'm just saying that's a tricky situation.
I think Hove has been the best on earth to ever manage that vulture business ecosystem and to partner with them and then break away and do its own thing.
I would say this: you don't always have to own the IP of something, but you always have to have an ownership mindset.
Okay, that's fair.
That's
yeah.
Like let's take us for instance, right? Like we own everything, right? Like we come from an ownership mindset. We do the events, we're gonna own it. We're gonna do the content, we're gonna own it, whatever, right? But let's just say hypothetically, we got a documentary with Lionsgate, right? And we're gonna do a featured film, and we're working with Spike Lee or whatever. And this is a $10 million production, and they're gonna do different things to kind of promote it and all of that. Like the ownership in that particular instance, we could probably do it ourselves at a lower budget, right? But it might be more important to have that reach the worldwide audience, to go on streaming services that we can get there quicker, which would in the mind frame accelerate everything else that we got going on. So now once again, we hustlers at the end of the day. So all you gotta do is open the door. From there, you're gonna be able to figure out, okay, where's the kitchen? Where's the attic at? Where's the movie room? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's up to you to figure out. But sometimes you just need to get inside the door. So those opportunities sometimes let you get inside the door. And then from there, that opens you up to a wider audience and opens you up to more opportunities, as opposed to if you just try to figure it out yourself. Like I think Jay Prince said this, like 50% or even 20% of would you rather have 20% of a watermelon or 100% of a grape?
Yeah. But I think the difference that you may be leaving out in your perspective is you've thought that shit out for the next 6 years.
Oh, you got to though. You got
But
to.
most people are like, yo, I'm lit. Netflix, Amazon Prime. And it's like after them 2 weeks, dog, you struggle bus.
That's a fact. Well, everybody's not a business-minded person either. Most talent is, they call it talent for a reason, right? Talent
is the code word of saying ninja.
Most people are talent because that's the thing that they focus on. They're not focused on business.
Yeah,
that's why you have the business people and you have the talent. Like we're talent and business. That's kind of a rare situation.
Yeah.
But put in chat. What do you guys think? Okay, let's talk about Tiger Woods. Salute to Tiger.
Shout out to Tiger. Tigre.
Salute to Tiger, man.
Popping out with. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Like how you pop out and announce a relationship and then ask for privacy? It was the most interesting rollout I've ever seen.
Well, here's the thing. It's a few interesting things about this. He's in a relationship with Vanessa Trump.
Yes.
The first interesting thing about this is that him and Donald Trump are friends for a long time. They've been friends for a long time. He was just at the White House last month. He was at the White House. Last month, he was at the White House.
Yep.
He's a friend of Donald Trump. He's a friend of his. So the fact that he's in a relationship with Donald Trump's son's ex-wife is weird. That's weird to me. That's weird. At the very least, that's weird.
For sure.
They have 5 kids together. She has 5 kids.
Don Jr. was getting busy, yo.
5? It's a lot.
Damn. That's a tribe.
Talking about multitasking. I don't know if I could date somebody with 5 kids. And he's a billionaire. That's why these dudes be doing silly shit. Sometimes the money don't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Like, yo, a billionaire dating somebody with 5 kids is a billionaire dating your friend's son's ex with 5 kids is wild to me. And then their kids go to school together.
And make the car line pick up way easier, yo.
That whole thing is weird. Then he puts photos on Instagram saying love is in the air and all of this Hallmark card type vibes. And he said something to the effect of we'd appreciate our privacy going forward. I guarantee you nobody was concerned about Tiger Woods and Vanessa Trump. I was not on my radar. Wasn't on my radar.
Didn't even cross my mind. Maybe she put pressure on him to show the love publicly.
If you love me, you'll post me play. Ooh, gotcha. But how do you post something and say
Tiger kind of smart though. If that was the move to post it and then be like, "Yo, respect our privacy."
But I will say this: Tiger Woods is the greatest golf of all time.
Yeah,
that's not debatable.
Yeah,
and he's one of the greatest athletes of all time.
Of all time, for sure. He ain't been right since Ogre hit him with that club, though. Tiger off the field moved crazy.
So he's a legend. Tiger Woods is a legend.
On the field, for sure. Off the field,
questionable. But I don't think anybody is checking for Tiger Woods' dating life. Like, I don't think he needed to, like, okay, maybe the Trump thing, because that, you know, in that circle, that would have been a weird thing. But I think he could have kind of just went off peacefully into the sunset with this. I don't think it would have been front page news of like, that, not Beyonce and Jay-Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that Tiger Woods' love life is that much of a concern to the average American.
No. But maybe she was putting pressure on him because maybe she want to. Fellas, you got to be careful too. Sometimes, like, if a girl go get somebody who lit in that sphere, and maybe to make the ex mad. So, Tiger, make sure you're not being used as bait to get back at Don Jr.
Could you date somebody with 5 kids?
Never have I ever, and never will I.
I don't even understand how that works. Like, how do you even have time to date if you have 5 kids?
Tough. Got to drop them off at the nanny. Had a nanny come over. That's like 5 kids.
What's your max for dating somebody with kids? How many kids?
2.
2 is a lot.
Yeah, and even 2 is stretch. 2.
Yeah. 5 is crazy. Respectfully. Yeah. No disrespect to anybody with 5 kids, but I'm just saying to date somebody with 5 kids is interesting. That's interesting. From a billionaire.
Tiger billionaire?
Yeah.
Okay.
At least close to it. At least. He's at least 900 million.
Tiger don't have no game. Let's keep it a G.
Tiger
could have went to Tampa and had a ball.
No, you gotta remember, Tiger was whoa. Tiger's legendary for his run. That, remember when he got that book came out? He had like 70, everything from waitresses to, he was legend. He had a
70
list.
roster.
Oh, it was legendary. That's when his whole thing started to fall apart.
I didn't know that. Tiger, we'll see.
He had the black book. He had the black book in every city. No, he was like, no. Yeah, Tiger's worth $1.3 billion, by the way.
Okay.
He's worth $1.3 billion.
Okay, he tried to preserve the wealth.
How come Tiger's not on the black billionaire list?
Maybe he doesn't identify as like Malik Yoba. Malik Yoba don't identify. He's non-white. You see that? Malik, I love you. There's a couple other things you identify as too. You keep playing.
That's my God. Shout out to Malik Yoba, man.
You're not. You don't identify as black, my boy. Why didn't you say that during New York Undercover? Malik, I love you. That's crazy, though. Come on.
Shout out to Malik.
Had a 70 piece. Yo.
No. He was getting 1.3 billion. Tiger was 1.3 billion. If Tiger's not black, Alex Karp damn sure is not black. At least Tiger, you can look at him and say he's a black person. Alex Karp, we got to tell the audience that he's black, and they still don't believe us when we tell them that he's black.
But on the inside, does Alex feel that he's black, though? That's what I don't think Tiger identifies always is black.
Alex Karp?
No, I'm saying, does Tiger?
No, we know that Tiger doesn't, but I'm saying Alex Karp?
Yeah.
I doubt.
His dad black?
No. Palantir. Okay.
Kudos to him. He got a little Frodo. The signs are there.
Okay.
Oh, he stopped identifying as such?
Who?
It just came through the text, so. Interesting.
Who stopped identifying? Alex Karp
Tiger
or
Tiger did.
Well, he did that. He did that years ago.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, shout out to Tiger, man.
Yeah, shout out Tiger.
So,
And other love topics. Do women hate men that don't have any pull?
oh, man, that was interesting. I saw that on Spiritual Word, right? And yeah, put it in the group chat. And it's one of these things that's extremely controversial. But
these are some unwritten rules, right? But we're gonna talk about them today.
That's a fact. So damn, where's this at? Where's this at in the group chat? Because it's one of these things that
the girl keeping it real.
When keeping it real goes wrong, right?
Is it wrong to keep it real?
Yes. She said, I hate a ninja with no pull. Like, why are you at the club standing in line? And and the comments are interested. And some of the people was like, my bad, next time I'll buy the club like James St. Patrick's. And then somebody said, this is exactly why successful men will give up high demanding wife and go with the Wendy's cashier. We just want to be loved and get past shit like this. So
but
now
sometimes the girls that don't have nothing going on be the most demanding.
So now we can't even stand in line, bro. I'm gonna say this. Hopefully, I don't get canceled. Hopefully. And you could ask this. You could ask anybody. Like this is certified, verified. I don't wait in line. I
don't give a fuck what it is. Yep, I agree, 1000%. Sorry.
I can't. Sorry. I didn't go to Wet Willie's
at the door
10 years ago, 12 years ago. I didn't go to Wet Willie's because it was a line. I'm like, I just can't
do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not waiting on line. It's demoralizing.
At the airport when they let the little kids in military
That's a fact.
Check in for me. You see the miles I got? What you mean?
I'm not waiting on line. I don't care. And like I said, you can cancel me. You can ridicule me. You can say I'm out of touch with reality. This was 20 years ago. I didn't wait online 20 years ago.
Yep.
When I had $1,000 to my name, I ain't waiting online now when I have a little bit more to my name. I'm not waiting online.
Yeah.
I'm not. It's embarrassing. It's demoralizing. And now they're gonna be like, well, if you're not waiting, everybody's not me. Everybody's not thinking with the brain that I have. So I can't put my thought process in somebody else's mind. Right. So I'm not knocking people that wait online.
Mm-hmm.
Just me personally. I'm not waiting on a line.
But fellas, also too, build relationship. You could be a VIP anywhere. If you go there frequently enough, build relationship. You go to a restaurant, build a relationship with 2 or 3 waiters and waitresses and a manager. Text before, hey, I'm about to pull up. Tip well.
Or like this is also my thought process. If I ever go to a club and wait on a line, I don't need to be in the club.
Big facts.
I'm coming back when I don't have to wait online. That's when I'm coming back.
Yeah, get so lit that they will not let you wait.
My priority at this point in life is not going to a club. I need to figure some things out internally.
Yep.
I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be grinding. I'm not in a position where I can enjoy myself properly. I'm not going to do it. If I can't enjoy myself properly, I'm not going to do it. I don't I don't even need to be talking to girls really. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm just saying for me personally, like if I'm down to that and I got to figure things out, that's not a top priority for me. It's not. It's never been. Like, it's never been a top priority for me. Like, I got to have a companion. I got to get this through. No, I got to figure this shit out first. We could get back to that later on because that's always going to be there.
For sure. The action is always going to be there.
So is she wrong in what she said?
I think it's the approach. I'm learning as I'm maturing. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So maybe approach is the issue. And when people or women have those kind of demands, the pushback is, are you lit enough to kind of demand that out of somebody. But even in a harsh statement like that, fellas, it's a good lesson. And women to tell you what they want, you got to listen. Be lit enough to not wait. And you don't have to have a ton of money, because it's a bunch of people with money that are still not treated in a certain fashion. I think I've always given you credit. One thing that you've done incredibly well is to dress the way you want to be addressed. That has a lot to do with it.
That's a fact.
Even in the airport, like with Valley suit, double-breasted, people are going to treat you a certain way. Tip well, aura, be kind. And also, too, the other part is when you get all them infinity stones, you get to have your way.
That's a fact. And then we got to be honest, too. Like, of course, what woman wants to be waiting online in a club with a guy? Like, nobody, that's not something that you aspire to. That's not an aspirational thing. Like, women want to be, it's a turn, it turns them on. When you have level of motion, that's a turn on for them. That's a fact.
For sure.
Like, we're not gonna, we can't lie about this situation. You when you have motion in your life and you're able to make things happen, that turns a woman on. Women are attracted to power. It's just it is what it is. So my thing is this is my advice, because if I wasn't in a situation where I can't make and everything, even now, it's not like I have the golden key to life. Sometimes some things I can't make happen. I'm not going to put myself in that. I'm not going to embarrass myself, put myself in that situation. And so if I'm in if I know that I can't get into this club, I'm not going to wait online. I'm not even going to go to the club. I'm like, let's go to a movie. Let's go to a movie. Let's do a restaurant. Let's do a lounge. Like, I'm gonna put myself in. You got to put yourself in positions to win.
And to win. Thank you.
And to look desirable in front of your woman. You can't look like a peasant in front of your woman. Like, you gotta you gotta curate the situation. That situation might be, I'm going to, this restaurant. Like, I'm not going to the club, but I know at this restaurant, I'm gonna be able to get a table. I'm gonna be able to eat.
Even if they're busy.
Exactly. In her eyes, I'm gonna look respectable in this moment. Right? You're not looking respectable if you're waiting 45 minutes in the freezing cold with your girl in the club. She has high heels on. She got a dress on. She's cold. Who the fuck? No, that's wild. That's wild as hell.
Yep. And if you charming, you can pull it off. Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And you gotta put yourself, when fucking Lou Will comes in with 7 people and then they just walk him in and you've been waiting 45 minutes with your girl and he's eyeing her and like, yo, you could come if you want.
And the curls that fell from the rain.
You putting yourself in a position to get embarrassed. That's why I don't go to, even going to clubs. I wouldn't even go to a club right now. Like, if I don't have a table, I'm not going. I'm not. They've made it so uncomfortable to be at a club.
Yeah, general admission over.
General admission, you just standing by the bar, just standing up for hours at a time. Getting bumped left and right. Nobody's dancing. It's an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
Don't go.
Yep. Curate a vibe, yo. And fellas, you may say all this is not important, but the people, just like we got that tier list of people that rank here, they had that even in the Disney movies, with the exception of Aladdin. All in was lit. Whatever little Prince Charming was in the movies, he had some shit going on.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
200,000 square foot palace. What? Aladdin, the only one that came off the streets with the little bagger trousers with no. It don't exist like that. And not that money is everything. Because I know a lot of guys that don't have a bunch of money that can still curate that vibe. Be kind, be hospitable. Cool. Go to the club, build relationship. A lot of it is just being kind and keeping in contact and being a relationship. Also, too, or if you're not going on a peak day.
And taking care of the people. Tipping the bouncer. Making sure you tip the waiter. If you're going to go to one place, make sure that that's your place.
Yeah, for real.
This is a gym for anybody that's out there. If you're interested, have one place that you can go to for a restaurant, for a nighttime. Like, for me, I know if all those fail, I'm gonna go to Chop House. I'm gonna get situated at Chop House. We've done so much stuff there. I have my birthday party, my son's birthday party. I know the owner. I know the waiter. I know everybody. I can't go to every single restaurant in New York City. I'm not going. Like, I can't. Every single restaurant. I don't have that card in every single restaurant. I got it in a few restaurants. But I know Chop House, That's a restaurant for sure. I got it in. So, and I'm gonna support black business. So at the end of the day, go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You gotta. This is all a game that we're playing, right? Like you gotta make sure that you're putting yourself in the best situation possible, so you can win.
And fellas, I keep telling you, if you listen, because a lot of y'all be on that red pill upset at women shit. Take every criticism and write it down and find a way to be better. That way, even if you fall out with your little baby, you've done everything that they would want in aggregate, and you be lit as hell, and you can replace it.
See, so you got three types of people. You got three types of guys in this world. You got the guys it's the club line, right? And you. So me, even though I wasn't waiting on the club line, I used to see it. I used to like be on the perimeter, like I'm not waiting on this line. I'm not going in, but I'm observing what's going on. And then you might have somebody, Stephon Marbury, or somebody that come in with his whole entourage in the Bentley, and they skipping the line. The first group of people is going to look at this as being envious. And they're going to say, how can I take something from this person? And how can I hate on this person? And how can I try to hurt this person? Right. Because it just hurts so much to see somebody doing that type of level of things is hurtful to you. The second type of person is just going to be the average fan. You're waiting online and you see them and it's like, hey, can I get a picture? But you're not really too much inspired, but you don't have any hate either. You're kind of just like, just a bystander. And it's just like, yo, that's dope to see him, but I'm still content with waiting online. And the third type of person is the hustler, where you on the outside perimeter and you looking at that shit and it's inspiring. And it's like, damn, I'm not even there, but that's what I want. I want that level of love. I want the love. I want to come through. Like I'm a hibernate until I get to that point, and I'm coming back outside. And when I come outside, I'm gonna have a spectacle. And that's how I was. I was always the third type of person. Like I get inspiration. I get motivated by different things. Even now, to this day, I get inspired all the time. So when I see stuff like that, I'm like, nah, this is a vision that I have. And that's crafting myself. Even in music video, I'll be watching music videos. I watch Nas with the champagne bottles, with the fur coats and all. That was inspiring. Like that was inspiring. Like, all right, I'm a little kid. I'm 12 years old watching this. Like, you know what I mean? But it's like, nah, that's all right. That's what we're gonna aspire to. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's plays a major part in the motivation to this day. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta be motivated. So use that as motivation.
And for everyone who says, "Oh, only in our culture," no. That shit Zuckerberg be having on $6,000. Y'all just don't know that they $6,000 and $700,000 watches and them yachts. Like, please stop with it's just our culture. It just take a little bit. Like what? Something I know got those $2,000 helmet laying workout shorts. What?
Jensen had the lizard jacket on. Alligator.
Tough.
Super tough.
You have to be regal in your approach. Now you got to pick when you even at your birthday party first. I said no. I'm gonna make sure I got the best. I was like, "What you come with?" So you gonna do cowhide? Ooh. And if you cool, you're not competing. Still got to make a spectacle though. Okay, he going to cowhide. I'm gonna go to crazy puffer. Okay, great. Went over that. Now you don't want quarter? No, drag it on the floor. Make Peter mad. No. Great. You have to court attention so they see you before. All right, cool.
That's a fact. So yeah, so stay inspired, man. Stay inspired. Never be content with your situation, man. Always be inspired to elevate and put yourself in situations to win. And always remember that girls love motion. That's just the harsh reality of life. I haven't met a girl yet that does not like motion.
Yep, they all want to be proud of you in some way. It helps. Go, hey, date 2 weeks ago. Oh, it's no more reservation. They got space for me. Watch. My brother, how you doing, man? Oh my God, I love your show. But you trying to go on a little date. You got room for two? Hotline bling. No key. Like who's calling that phone?
It's like your kid. Same thing. Your kid want to be proud of you.
For sure.
Your kid want to be proud of you. Like,
give them a reason to be proud.
That's a fact. Give your girl a reason to be proud. And you don't gotta be a celebrity. You don't gotta be but give her a reason.
You could be that in your community. It's not
Like,
that hard.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You could be the man in your community. You could be like, we the thing that we talking about is all relative. Like, we could be talking about Applebee's.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm gonna be real. Some of these places y'all want to go to are not as lit as you think.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just get lit in Applebee's. Know the waiter, know the manager. Like, be lit. Be the man in your community. Like, coach a football team. Be the guy. Like, there was guys in my community. Shout out to Kevega. There was guys in my community that's not celebrities that I looked up to, that was inspirational figures for me, because they was lit. They put the money up for the summer league team. They had motion. Like, you know what I mean? They wasn't just no regular guys. Like, they was hustlers in the community. They might not have been super millionaire billionaires, but in my neighborhood, they were stars in my neighborhood. So get some motion out here.
Yeah. And y'all could be so upset at what women say and just take what they say. And because a lot of times, just like we'll talk, women just be talking shit sometimes. Like, that same girl who said that has sat outside and waited with her man 300 times to get in the club.
And that's why she said that. She's fed up. She had enough. All right. Before we leave, the discovery of the pyramids. What's up with this?
Billy Carson, we need you on the phone. We are getting old enough to every conspiracy theory that we learned as kids, including the JFK file. We'll talk about that next week, maybe. But for years, got to give Billy credit, got to give Graham Hancock credit, that there's been structures underneath the pyramid. So apparently LIDAR was ran over the desert, and there may be some structures underneath those pyramids. So, and pyramid or mountain was found in Antarctica as well a couple months ago as well. So there's been some interesting discoveries. And I wonder what other things will we find out over these next 2 or 3 years as a result.
But okay, having a structure underground, does that change anything?
It could. Well, my thing is always, if okay, if me and you do a deal to do a TV show with Erica Mena on BET, and we get $1 million up front, but there's royalties in perpetuity, and I hide the royalties in perpetuity from you, why are you doing that? For years, decades, because they want to change the narrative around who built the pyramids and how they were created, they hid the substructure in it. My conspiracy theorist brain got to going. Now, I don't think, the pyramid can lift up and fly to Mars. I don't think that's it. But I think there may be some technology or some discoveries down there that have been removed. There's a lot of other entities and countries that have borrowed artifacts and put them in their country for valuation purposes. So I wonder if anything has been taken from those substructures, and if there's anything we can learn from in our country about how to create and build monuments that last a long period of time from that, allegedly. But what do I know?
Facts.
Take your girl to Applebee's and show her the video and talk about it on Tuesdays. Yeah.
Okay.
How many times do you give a person in business or a person in a relationship to mess up before you cut them loose? Because usually the issue never gets better.
It's always been 3 strikes, you're out. But depending on the offense, it might be earlier. But I think three strikes is more. That's more than gracious. It's more than gracious.
You've always gone by that rule?
Yeah,
that's a good law. It's a good law.
But sometimes it's one. It depends on, like I said, depending on the severity. Depending on the severity of the violation, sometimes it's one. But on average, because after the first time's a mistake, right?
Yeah,
that could be okay. That's a mistake. Now, the second time is questionable behavior.
Yeah.
The third time's a pattern.
Yeah.
Now it became a lifestyle for you at that point in time, and now this is who you are as a person, right? I could the first time I could just write it off, like we just made a bad mistake. The second time that's questionable, because now you've done this twice, so I don't know. This is either two bad mistakes or it's a lifestyle. Third time, it's your lifestyle. It's a part of the fabric of your DNA at that point in time. You don't.
What
You
if
don't
you
make
see improvement in between the 1 and the 2 and the 2 and the 3?
improvement in the person.
Yeah. I feel you, bro. I was just having this conversation with Pierre. I was like, I told you day one I ain't trust. Yeah. First violation. Feels weird.
That's a fact. I go off vibes. Like even 19 Keys, when he first met me, he was like, yo, I ain't know how to like really like, figure you out at first because like you ain't say nothing to me. You was kind of like, well, I gotta fill out the vibes first. Like, and usually I have a good sense of like, it doesn't work every time, but usually I'm like, nah, this person, it just don't align with my spirit. Like if somebody's like too flashy, too trying to like overly sell themselves, doing too much, I'm like, nah, I'm not jacking it. If somebody's coming and they automatically talking about somebody else, and I'm like, nah, I'm not jacking. Like
that's a big red, especially amongst men.
Yeah, it's certain things. Somebody just, I'm an energy person. So usually we can avoid this before it even starts. But if we go into it, after third time, it ain't really too much of a mistake at that point in time.
Yeah. That's a good rule of thumb. And be mindful of how you feel after you interact with a person. That's always a tell, fellas. If a person inspires you and you feel like lighter after talking to them, good sign. If you feel weighed down or drained, time to wrap it up. So,
all right.
Don't be mad at us for saying money can buy you happiness. Sorry.
Oh, money can definitely buy you happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Having money's not everything. Not having it is. That's a fact.
Yeah. Some stressful days not having no money.
At least when you're in America. Maybe if you're in other countries, it's not as bad because but when you're in the when you're in the capital of capitalism, in the United States of America, you're gonna be reminded of it every single day. Everywhere you turn, you're gonna be reminded.
Yeah, it's needed. It is needed. So, anything else? Shout out to Jess, shout out to Lauren, shout out to all my creators. And
what about Texas using AI tutor and takes students test scores to top 2% in the country?
Like you said on Monday, it's over. I wouldn't even be surprised in a couple of years if those AI tutors will be too cost prohibitive for us to be able to use them at scale.
Yeah, I agree.
It's needed, but I don't think they're going to democratize the AI. And if anything, we've learned in education that the red line still applies to this day. Like people say money doesn't matter. Where your house is zoned to has a profound impact on the network your child is going to have and the education they receive. It makes a huge difference. And you can try and supplement, you can have tutoring and but when you're learning from other kids with the same aptitude and intelligence, it does matter. And there is definitely an educational disparity by design. Kudos to John D. Rockefeller for creating the American education system the way it is structured today. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we covered a lot.
For sure. They're gonna be mad at us. Man, y'all think money everything, and y'all probably didn't even have no women before y'all had I love them.
Oh, you gotta check the resume. You gotta check my resume.
For real. Hey, my boy.
20 years.
And the ones who be saying that work don't be worth, you know what I
mean? 20 years in this game.
Shambles, my boy. A lot of y'all be talking, and then you go to your real page. Dust as hell, my boy.
Nah, man. We've been doing this since 17 years old, man.
Man.
Facts, not fiction.
For years made me an animal.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Talk a lot of shit, but back it up.
Rings and things you sing about, bring them out.
Bring them out.
Bring them out.
Boy.
That's a fact, though. Oh, okay.
Shout out to all my savers, all my investors. I know it's hard being disciplined. Oh boy. Even when I be around yard keys, I'm like, man, I'm gonna give me a gold rollie, yo. One day though, I don't care about the resale value. One day, crustaceans everywhere. It'd be tough. That'd be tough. So what can you do? Also, too, you can't bring your nice things around. Like, it's good to have friends you can bring your things out with, but you can't bring your things out around everybody. It's a lesson in life. Yep.
That's a fact.
Yeah, gotta be
That's a
low-key.
fact. Be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
And don't overdo it.
Don't pillow talk either. A lot of y'all be pillow talking in. It's a couple conversations we left off the docket for the day, but a lot of y'all demise be pillow talking with the ones you shouldn't be leaving laying next to. And he's backdooring the girl you pillow talking with. Crazy, but what do we know?
Crazy, spooky, hilarious.
For real. Oh, yeah. And once again, if you buy Stock Club, I appreciate you, but don't use that as no excuse to email me at 1 o'clock in the morning and telegram me and thinking that's going to be your way in with me. Sorry. Lo siento. Not going to happen. I've been such a big fan for the longest time. I bet you and a bunch of others. I'm good.
I'm good, love, and joy.
For real.
I'm good, love, and joy. All right, y'all. Investfest.com. Get your tickets. Episode of Earn Your Leisure comes out tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
What
are you looking forward to most this year at InvestFest that you can't talk about?
Can't. Satoshi Nakamoto.
Oh, it's gonna be good. It is going to be good. Michael Saylor might want to have a conversation with you right after I finish my presentation, if you're available. We'd love to.
Pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. It's been real. We'll see you next week. Love.